Day 1120 of this Trump administration, 264 days to go until the 2020 presidential election. And tonight, in a new interview, the Attorney General Bill Barr, who has been nothing but supremely loyal to and protective of the man who appointed him to office, seems to be saying two things. Sure, he intervened in lowering the recommended prison sentence for Trump's friend Roger Stone, who is a convicted felon. But he went on to say that the tweets from the president, which is how we know how President Trump wanted the sentence lowered, those tweets really make his job impossible. Barr spoke to ABC News about his decision to overrule federal prosecutors who had lowered federal guidelines recommending a 7 to 9 year prison term for Stone. He goes on to seem to complain about the president's social media habits.
I had made a decision that I thought was fair and reasonable in this particular case. And once the tweet occurred, the question is, well, now what do I do? To have public statements and tweets made about the department, about our people in the department, our men and women here, about cases pending in the department, and about judges before whom we have cases, make it impossible for me to do my job. I'm not going to be bullied or influenced by anybody, whether it's Congress, newspaper, editorial boards, or the president.
Did you talk to the president at all about your decision regarding the recommendations?
Never.
Just as Barr was talking, the president was sounding thankful for his attorney general during a radio interview with Geraldo Rivera.
Do you ever wonder what your life would have been like if you had picked William Barr instead of Jeff Sessions when you...
Yeah,
office?
my life would have been a lot easier.
A lot of the country's life.
Been a lot easier. Yep, my life would have been a lot easier. But I might have been less popular because they say they like that I fought it. They like that I won. They like that my base is much more energized.
New reporting from the New York Times indicates the loyal attorney general may be pursuing another legal area of great interest to his boss. According to the newspaper, Trump justice officials investigating the government's response to Russia's election interference back in 2016 may be searching for reasons to accuse Obama-era intelligence officials of hiding evidence or manipulating analysis about the Kremlin's operation. The Times notes that John Durham, the Connecticut-based U.S. attorney temporarily assigned by Barr to lead this investigation, is scrutinizing the actions of avowed Trump enemy John Brennan, the former CIA director under Obama. Tonight, Brennan was asked about it.
Is there a criminal investigation now on analytic judgments and the activities of CIA in terms of trying to protect our national security? I'm certainly willing to talk to Mr. Durham or anybody else who has any questions about what we did during this period of time in 2016. It clearly, I think, is another indication that Donald Trump is using the Department of Justice to go after his enemies in any way that he can.
The day started with news of some unexpected comments from Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, who has decided to speak candidly now about what he saw on the inside, and he did so at a college appearance in New Jersey last night. As reported by The Atlantic, Kelly defended Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman's decision to speak out about that phone call with the president of Ukraine and described Trump's request for investigations as an illegal order. Quote, "We teach them," meaning soldiers like Vindman, "don't allow an illegal order. And if you're ever given one, you'll raise it to whoever gives it to you that this is an illegal order and then tell your boss." Kelly criticized Trump's efforts to win over North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, saying, quote, "He will never give his nuclear weapons up. I never did think Kim would do anything other than play us for a while, and he did that fairly effectively." Kelly also slammed Trump's decision to reverse a decision to oust Eddie Gallagher, the Navy SEAL convicted last year of posing with the corpse of an Islamic State fighter. Quote, "The idea that the commander-in-chief intervened there, in my opinion, was exactly the wrong thing to do. Had I been there, I think I could have prevented it." It did not take long for the president to respond, and he did so this way, quote, "When I terminated John Kelly, which I couldn't do fast enough, He knew full well that he was way over his head. He misses the action and just can't keep his mouth shut. Kelly actually left the administration 3.5 weeks or thereabouts after his departure had been announced. And now another official in exile, former National Security Advisor John Bolton, has come to Kelly's defense. Bolton writes Kelly is, quote, an honorable man. John and I have disagreed at times, but he has always served his country faithfully. As all of this is happening, the president bringing some former White House staffers back. Former Communications Director Hope Hicks is returning with a new title, Counselor to the President. She'll be assigned to work out of Jared Kushner's wide-ranging West Wing operation. Axios today confirmed that John McEntee, President Trump's former body man, who was fired by former Chief of Staff Kelly and escorted off the White House grounds over security clearance issues, is also back. He's expected to lead the Presidential Personnel Office. Axios also reports that Trump, quote, has increasingly become furious with what he sees as a federal government full of never-Trumpers, and that Trump feels he's surrounded by snakes and wants to clear out all the disloyal people. The president also said he's thinking about changing the policy of having national security officials and staffers listen in on important phone calls.
Well, that's what they've done over the years. When you call a foreign leader, people listen. I may end the practice entirely. I may end it entirely.
And late today, Trump's current national security advisor weighed in on that.
The president can have whatever phone calls he wants without other people being on the line, but I think generally the president's happy if he's got some of his aides with him. My experience is he actually enjoys having the vice president or myself or Secretary Pompeo with him.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.